Good evening. At this time, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Lincoln Way Community High School District 210 Board of Education for Thursday, April 27, 2023, along with the reorganization of the school board. So if you could please stand for the pledge if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Janik?
Here.
Ms. Janice Doyle? Here. Mr. Kirking?
Here.
Mr. Lacine?
Here.
Mr. Lucetti?
Here.
Mrs. Stokes? Here. Mr. Kostick?
Here. First things first, we have the recognition of our outgoing members.
We have a small token of our appreciation at your places this evening. We have a clock to signify the time that you have dedicated to our district. Chris Lucetti and Joe Kirking joined the board in 2016. Beth Janice Doyle in 2017. Showed tremendous leadership and fortitude during I guess some could say, a tumultuous time in our district. But we would not be where we are today without your leadership and guidance. And I personally can't thank the three of you enough for your dedication to the students and the community members of Lincoln Way. So thank you for your time. Please take the clock as a representation of our appreciation for all the work that you've done.
Thank you. And from up here, I just want to congratulate you guys on a job well done for these. It's come a long way since we started back in 2016. And when you joined us in 2017, Beth, it was come from sitting in an auditorium with 300 people to talking about tax anticipation warrants and needing escorts to our car to now, what's for the most part, are relatively routine matters that we discuss. And it's been an absolute pleasure. So with that, I thank you. Moving on, we have the report of the canvass and election results. Beth.
I need my new bifocals. I don't have them. Abstract of votes. Yeah. Will County, Illinois official results. Consolidated election of April 4th, 2023. Run date 4/25/23. Lincoln Way Community High School 210 board member, full 4-year term, vote for a total of 4. Catherine Johnson, 6,462. Gina Sambo, 3,330. Caitlin Olenek, 5,474. Nathan Sandoval, 4,808. Dana Berthold, 5,118. Mark Bamim, 3,119, sorry, wrong number. David Collins, 4,186. Kat Toper, 2,669. Unincorporated area, Tessa Quinlan, 3,585. Richard Lacine, Jr., 4,521. The Will County Clerk has certified that Dana Berkold, Catherine Johnson, Richard Lacine Jr., and Caitlin Olenek have been elected to the Lincoln Way Community High School District 210 Board of Education for a full term. I motion that the board accept the report of canvass and the election results as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Congratulations to our newly elected members. And at this time, I would like to invite the new members up to take their oath of office. And Rich has to sign.
What do the old board members do? No, I'm talking like. You guys stay. You leave.
I'm going to Staples.
Buy yourself a new stapler.
Yeah, you all stay. Here's yours.
Linda, do we have an extra copy of the oath? If not, we'll just. It's on the. Oh, it's on the document.
Oh,
So you guys, we'll just say it all at the same time. So you'll begin on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
I, Kathleen Johnson, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of Board of Education of Lincoln Way Community High School, District 210, in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois, to the best of my ability. I further swear that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as faithful protector of the district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who are seeking hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of the students and employees. I shall recognize the board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by majority vote at a public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board, while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As a part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Lincoln Way Community High School District 210. I shall assist in establishing a structure and environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community schools to advance the vision for Lincoln Way Community High School District 210. I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district forward, fulfilling the vision of the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Congratulations.
thank you. Aaron, you're up. You just have to say. On number 4, look under executive.
We're on number 5.
contact. We're not. Well, you can say it, but it just says.
Elect President?
We just need to announce that they're officially seated to their term.
Oh, the board members are officially seated to their term.
Thank you. All right, moving on to elect the president. So it's time for me to give up that 20% bump in pay and use of the company jet. I motion that Aaron Janik be the next president of the Lincoln Way Board of Education.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are we just doing it, are we calling it live, or are you opening the vote?
I have it ready,
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. Linda, if you'd open the vote, please.
and the vote is open.
Are you guys all logged in over there? Okay, just making sure.
Did it work?
The motion passes with 6 ayes and 1 abstain for Mr. Janik. Congratulations, Mr. Janik.
Aaron, that was very nice of you not to vote for yourself.
Yes.
Next up. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not giving it up.
Your evil reign of terror is over. Thank you, sir.
Good work, congratulations, Aaron.
All right, next up, we have the vice president. Can I get a motion for Catherine Johnson to serve as vice president?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All right, Linda, can you open the vote?
The vote is open.
We don't do this too often.
The vote is unanimous with 6 ayes and 1 abstain for Mrs. Johnson. Congratulations.
Next up, we have the secretary. Can I get a motion to elect Joe Costick secretary? Do I have a second? All right, motion and a second. Linda, can you open the vote?
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Costa.
Congrats, Joe. Now the best part, can I get a motion for that the position of secretary remain a non-compensated position?
I'd like to open this for discussion. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I get a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Linda, can you please open the vote? Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, Joe. All right. Next up, we have the adoption of board policies and parent-student handbook. Can I get a motion to approve the adoption of the board policies and parent-student handbook? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions from anyone? Hearing none, can you please open the vote, Linda?
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
All right, next up, we have committee assignments. We have the District 843 Governing Board. It's currently Deidre Stokes. I believe we have Ms. Burkhold would be interested in that position. Do we need a motion for that? No? All right.
These are appointments.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and appoint Dana to that. Next, we have the District 210 Advisory. That was Beth. We'll go ahead and appoint Deidre to that position. The Lincoln Way Foundation Liaison. Joe, would you be willing to take that over from me?
Absolutely.
All right, the IASB 3 Rivers Board Representative, Caitlin, would you be willing to take on that position? Thank you. And the IASB Board Delegate, Catherine, would you be willing to take on that position? All right, thank you. All right, so committee assignments are out of the way. Next up, we have public comment.
Do you have one? Did you take it with you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
All right, we have one individual signed up for public comment, and that is Tessa Quinlan.
If you could push the button. Thank you, Tessa. Thank you.
I said I was just apologizing for my attire, but came straight from a softball game. Hello to all. I came here today since taking a few months off from speaking at board meetings because I, Tessa Quinlan, was a recent candidate running for Lincoln Way 210 school board election. I am thankful for the experience. I'm thankful to meeting most of the candidates. I feel every one of the candidates had a reason for running, and I believe it's because they felt they wanted to make an impact in the education, safety, and well-being of current and future Lincoln Way 210 students. I am no different. Although I wasn't successful in gaining enough votes to be elected on the school board, I respect the process. I was saddened by the loss, but I am not a sore loser. I wanted to come tonight to congratulate all the new incoming elected board members and wish them all nothing but the best. I did reach out and congratulate personally to some. To Mr. Rich Lacine, welcome back. I want nothing more to practice what I preach to my children, and that is to be happy for others. It doesn't mean I can't be disappointed, but I can rise above, get back up, and continue what I'm doing. This is why I decided to come back to the school board meetings. I want to make sure I continue my advocating in honor of my son and many special service families. I'm excited to know that we now have, with the addition of the newly elected school board members, to say we have representation with both personal and professional experience members with special services knowledge. I would never wish my life on anyone, and it's not because it's terrible or sad, but because of the everyday reality of never letting up. No break. I will continue being my son's voice day in and day out for the rest of my life. Most families and many of you on the board won't ever understand, and I don't fault you for that. We all dream about raising our children to be productive, respected members of society, allow them to make strides in their own future, seeing them graduate from many levels of schooling for post-high school education or trade programs, reaching milestones beyond even our own dreams and to be independent adults themselves. And it is no different for me. I realize we all go through our own struggles, and no one person's journey is any more difficult than someone else's. but knowing someone can relate on any level can make a true difference, so I'm hopeful. To provide a bit of an update of some progress that has been made in the past few months that has allowed some families to feel they've been heard, Lincoln Way Central Best Buddies Club finally allowed for the first time parents to attend the talent show. These parents were able to see their child take stage and be cheered on and celebrated. I can say it was heartwarming to see a dad so excited to see his child on stage where he was able to use his long length lens of his professional camera because, believe me, it was no cell phone photo. That is what it was all about, allowing parents to attend. I'll even extend the thanks to the Lincoln Way Central softball teams for giving up a practice to attend the event. They sat there with their teammates watching and cheering on the participants. I thanked Coach Hess and Coach Tarala for being supporters of the club program and for allowing them to attend. Special thanks to Mrs. Colleen Redwick for her amazing efforts in taking Lincoln Way Central Best Buddies to another level. I personally look forward to see what's to come for them all. Special Olympics was amazing to see the participants for the first time in their jerseys representing their schools in their school colors. As I have made you aware, it was the first year for a Special Olympics team to be started at Lincoln Way. The participants had fun, they enjoyed the competition, and the families were appreciative. I will say it'd be nice to see more competitions amongst other local area school teams in the future, as this year the teams only had 2 competitions within a school year, and it was only competitions against Lincoln Way schools. I don't know any other sport that just has 2 competitions in a school year, but being a first year, we are just excited it happened. We are sure of great things to come now that year 1 is down. We hope to see expansion of the Special Olympics programs in the near future. Huge shout out to Mrs. Michelle Rule for taking on such a task. We know it's time, dedication, and passion to do what she did. Special Games is being hosted in just about 2 weeks. If you are available to come and see what many of your staff and students associated with Special Games have worked so hard on, it'd be nice to see you there. They all should be proud of their hard work in making it a special day for the participants. It's Thursday, May 11th, 9 a.m. here at Lincoln Way Central. I will remind you all to look back at the Google slideshow presentation I shared with all of you over the past 2 years because it says a lot of how we can build upon and make improvements for students at Lincoln Way. Just know you have a community that supports and can rally behind you to make it happen. Not only support you, but allow for the entire local communities to come together and bring joy, smiles, and positivity to our area. We can all use a bit of positivity in our lives. Thank you again for your service and being a board member and being a volunteer in doing so. I can say, because I tried, that being a board member is not an easy job, but just want to say I support you and I just want Lincoln Way to be trailblazers for thinking outside the box for all of your students. Thank you.
Thank you, Tessa. Next up, we have the consent agenda. We have the approval of the regular meeting minutes of March 16th, 2023, approval of the closed meeting minutes of March 16th, 2023, approval of the payrolls of March 20th, 2023, April 5th, 2023, and April 20th, 2023, approval of the District 210 advisory minutes from February 27th, 2023, personnel reports, and out-of-state travel. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Any questions? Hearing none. Linda, can you please open the vote?
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
Next up, we have the presentation of invoices from March 17th, 2023 through April 27th, 2023.
Motion to approve invoices in the amount of $3,645,711.84.
Do I have a second? All right, any questions? Claims for medical bills were kind of high again. Can you talk about that for us, Mike?
Yep, it's due to large claims. They've been actually down the last few months, and we did see an uptick here. As a reminder to the board, we did lower the stop loss from 300,000 to 150, and so we're tracking that closely. That is calendar year based, so that may not kick in and have any benefit on this particular fiscal year, but as we go through the calendar year in next fiscal year, we'll hit that cap sooner if they continue to trend high. And once again, our budget was adjusted. We did that mid-year expensing. We're in okay shape right now, but we're tracking that for fiscal year 24 as well.
And then the CDWG, the technology costs, is that
That's
we were talking
related.
about last month.
Yep, related to a variety of purchases from your approvals last month, as well as new projectors. That's part of an ongoing project that was budgeted.
Any other questions on anything?
When we talked about the insurance claims last time, is that, we talked about, coming out of COVID, people delayed. Did we look into that? Is it not only our district, it's kind of regionally still? Did they get back to you on that?
Yeah, they did. So there's at this point, we're kind of past anything that would have been delays from hospitalizations or people going to the doctor, things like that. Where we are right now is we just have some more significant individual large claims that are currently affecting us. We are still trending right now in terms of individuals a little bit better than early calendar year last year. And so that's a positive trend. I hope by the time the calendar year 23 ends, we're in better shape.
Any other questions for Mike? All right, hearing none, I have a motion and a second. Linda, can you please open the vote?
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
All right, next up, we have the treasurer's report for March of 2023.
We saw roughly $4 million in revenue and $8 million in expenses in March. At the end of the month, our total cash balance was $18.3 million. So far this year, we've received 55% of what we budgeted as operating revenue, and we've spent 74% of what we budgeted for operating expenses. This is normal. At this point last year, the percentages were 56% and 73% respectively. Expenses usually trend ahead of revenues until we start to receive property tax distributions in May and June. Blended interest rate across all investments was 4.1% at the end of March. We do have a $5 million treasury bill maturing on April 30th. And between that money, as well as any early tax receipts that we receive, we will work with PMA to ladder appropriate investments as we head into next fiscal year. The cash flow detail is hyperlinked in this report, and it provides the inflows and outflows of cash for each month in each fund. For future months, we make predictions based on the budget and on data from past years. Our variance is sometimes better than those historical trends, sometimes worse. For the most part, it has to do with timing. Cash flow variance for the month of March was a positive $1.5 million. Local revenues were a little bit higher than the 5-year average, and expenses were slightly lower. As we look ahead, I do anticipate receiving some quarterly state categorical payments in mid to late April, but this month we will otherwise see a fairly quiet month from a revenue standpoint. Happy to take any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mike?
I was just looking at I know that's maturity date is, obviously in a couple of days, with that T-bill. I think the rates right now at like the 4-month rate is going to get us the better return. I was just looking at the current T-bill rates, but then I was looking at that next bank fund with, and I'm sure it's fine, but, it has $8.4 million in it. Is it FDIC approved? I'm sure after, or is it like, you know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a sweep ICS account, and so
Okay.
what that provides for us is its investments across multiple banks,
Okay.
thousands of banks. All individual banking or investments with each individual institution are under that $250,000 threshold. It is insured,
Okay.
but that keeps us right now. That's mirroring or slightly ahead of T-bill rates,
Okay.
and what that allows for us to keep is 1-day liquidity for cash needs.
So it's kind of like CDARS then, right? I mean, okay, in other
Yep.
words, okay. All right.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
The tuition dues and fees, it's up by like $1 million. So from year to date, just out of curiosity for expenditures.
So a lot of they have to do with special education needs in a particular year.
Okay.
So those expenses do vary, but those are, you'll notice that the budget was also adjusted for this year. And so right now we're trending okay. We're trending within budget, and that is work that Mrs. Erlenbaugh and I do, and we track very closely, and we're already having conversations for FY24 as well.
Okay.
So
And the
one or two students can make that difference.
Okay. And the capital outlay was because of the improvements that.
Yes, we had planned capital expenses pretty significantly higher than last fiscal year, and that was expected.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All right, Linda, can you please open the vote?
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
All right, next up, we have the student activities report for March 2023.
The report is in your backup material for the month ended March 31, 2023. The total student activity fund balance is $2,088,509 with revenues of $394,000 and expenditures of $441,000. We did have 3 accounts in the negative. District Winter Guard, that will be taken, that was a timing and some fundraising. Girls Bowling at East, $210, once again, timing. And then Class of 24, that's the prom expense. Once we receive the ticket sales, that will zero that out as well. Ask that you approve the student activity report as presented.
And those ticket sales are through a third party?
Correct.
So they cut us the check after the period's closed?
Yep. Yes. Yes, there is a percentage.
Yeah.
But it keeps us from handling a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Screw it up.
Actually, it was pretty smooth to have a senior that was. Yeah, it's very smooth process.
Easier than bringing checks in or cash.
It is very smooth, yes.
And you got points. You really wanted points, right? Yeah.
All right, do I have a motion? Do I have a second? All right, Linda, can you please open the vote? No problem.
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
All right, next up, we have the second reading for textbook adoption.
So the only other action item we have this evening is textbook adoptions for the 23-24 school year. These have been on display for the amount of time is required. We need to get these orders in, so we have them marked and ready to go in August. So we're asking approval for Spanish 3 honors, German 3 honors, World History and Geography honors. This fits within our projected budget heading into next year. And this, once again, this is our 5th year, I believe, Amy, of our textbook cycle. For many of you board members that have been with us for quite some time, we had gone nearly a decade without replacing textbooks. And now we're somewhere in that ballpark of $300,000 to $500,000, depending upon the needs. And we have a cycle where everybody knows when it's their turn. So Amy's done a good job of putting that together, and these 3 are up for now.
All right, can I get a motion for the textbook adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Linda, can you please open the vote?
The vote is open. The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
All right, next up, under informational items, we have the report of the Lincoln Way Special Education District 843 Governing Board meeting held March 28, 2023.
So things are moving along. I did share with them, we had a meeting this month, just the other night, and I shared with them that I would be moving over to advisory. It's a great board, and I shared with them that there was discussion, so they're excited to see you come, just to let you know we'll talk. But things are moving there. Transportation issues are kind of settling for them. They have had a couple of transportation issues, but I think they have a good handle on some things at this time, so.
Okay. Next up, FOIA requests.
There are FOIA requests that are in your backup materials. I'd be happy to take any questions, but they're in the backup report.
All right, the buildings and grounds report.
Buildings and grounds, once again, in your backup materials as well. Chuck is not here this evening, but we have continue to make progress on leaks.
That's what I was gonna ask. That central water bill seems to be,
We still have
Kinda high.
there's one leak at Central. We've identified the leak, we've shut off the water to that area, and now it's next steps to determine timing and cost of that repair. It's right back here, right, Mike?
That's correct. It's in the
Yeah.
back alley.
Right
Yep,
back here in the
we're
alley.
getting some quotes, and we anticipate contractors to work as soon as possible. But, to Dr. Tingley's point, we're just trying to coordinate traffic and everything else. So.
But West, we're now caught up and good. Central, other than that last one.
all right, the community relations report,
Once again, included in your backup materials for your review.
the asset of the month.
Responsible decision-making and personal competence at home. Practice interpersonal skills with your child, such as meeting people, starting conversations, asking questions, finding similar interest at school. Hold discussion groups about social and emotional experiences during lunch or after school and in the community. Greet youth in the neighborhood and take time to talk with them. Get to know the family next door.
We have District 210 advisory. That's
That's
Beth, and
not
she's no
here.
longer
So-
here, so
So.
the report is in the,
Yeah, the report is there. Quorum was established. We did go through the handbook review process, and that's on the first reading for this evening. So you'll see we've made some significant updates to our handbook, I would say. We've gone through and attached policy. So as we get to that item, I can go ahead and talk about it now. There's not action. So please take time between now and the next meeting. If you have any questions, get those. If you can't get those to me ahead of time, so we'll be ready to discuss those, because we will look to approve the student handbook at the next meeting, but you will see it looks a little different. We've consolidated some areas, but then also attached it directly to the policy manual. It's legally more effective and more efficient. So as you have those questions, get them to me. We can discuss them at the next meeting, because we will look for approval in May.
and then the first reading for the school handbook changes.
Same thing.
Yep.
We're good.
All right, legislative report.
We've got our fingers crossed. They're in Springfield right now. The biggest item now would be the airport south in Peatone, asking to fill out witness slips, as that would potentially bring industry to the southern suburbs. We'll see where that goes. This current visit in Springfield, they've left education alone a little bit, so we don't hold our breath, but we'll just see. But so far, any activity here over the last couple of months has not been a negative impact to us. There's continued discussion with about a year and a half ago, they went with the world language requirement that's supposed to come up here in a couple of years. There's gonna be an addendum that's passed committee that if you're able to prove a career pathway, that you'll be able to not have to follow the 2 years of a world language for everyone. We filled out a witness slip. We worked with surrounding districts. For us, what was it, Brian, 5 to 7? It was 5 to 7. We would need 5 to 7 world language teachers, correct, full-time. And so Lockport would be a little bit behind us. District 230 and Joliet would be even higher, because they have fewer kids taking those classes right now. So just in our little region, we would need about 20 world language teachers, and that would be challenging, unless we want to raise the class size to 60 for world languages. I don't know. So, yeah, so that's really all for right now. Legislatively, I'll keep you informed, but it's been pretty quiet on the education front.
So would that be you said amendment to the law for the career pathway?
It would be.
Would we have
We will
those
be- we will
teachers
be
in
pro-
place?
We already do.
We already do? Okay.
Yeah, we do. In fact, we just hired another, this evening, we hired another vocational teacher. And so those programs have grown significantly over the last 5 years.
Hit your button.
Are EL students part of that law? I mean, what would they even do with EL students? I mean,
It's a great question. I
You know,
don't
we
know.
don't even
We
know.
would need
Okay.
clarification on
right,
that one.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Great question. Yeah.
All right, so guess stay tuned. Superintendent's district report.
Nothing additional to report this evening.
Other district business?
None at this time.
I guess we'll bring it up for the last time.
Last time, it's gone in May.
The Lincoln Way Community High School District 210 COVID mitigation plan.
Yeah, it'll be gone next month.
Okay. Any correspondence?
Nothing this evening.
Okay. Nothing for closed session?
No.
All right. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Our next meeting is May